welcome. You're listening to the Louis Minor Show. I'm your host, Bell County Commissioner Louis Minor. Today is July 20th, 2025, and we are back from NACO, National Association of County Annual Conference that was held in Philadelphia, and had a great time over there. Was able to pass some much needed resolutions that go into the platform for National Association of Counties. I'm a member of NACO, the National Association of Hispanic County Officials, and there were several resolutions that we were supporting, and the one that I was helping spearhead, was the non-discrimination resolution. So we had to take that to two committees, and luckily that one passed, and all of the other ones passed that NACO was supporting. So yay, shout out to NACO and all the members that supported and did all the hard work. And yeah, we did a good job over there. I was excited, made a lot of good information that able to come back to the county and try to get some things happening. But next week, matter of fact, tomorrow, I'll be flying out to Atlanta for the NALEO conference. That's the National Association of Latino Elected and Appointed Officials. So this will be my second time going to NALEO. Last year was my first time. And this one is definitely much different because it's obviously Hispanic officials from all over the country, but it is city council members, it is state legislators, county officials, obviously, then federal and appointed, both state. And so it's a really good opportunity, network and see issues that are affecting the Hispanic community all over the United States. So I'm excited to go there and learn more and bring stuff back home. But I do want to touch a couple of things. I will play a video. You'll be able to listen to it, the audio from the Commissioner's Court. There's several things that came out in the news since our last show. One of them obviously was the animal shelter. And there were reports that a lot of animals have been euthanized unnecessarily. And that got a lot of people upset, a lot of people mad. I got a lot of emails about it. I'm sure the other commissioners did as well. Commissioner Woodson is on the Animal Advisory Board. And the sheriff is control of the animal shelter and animal control. So that's his responsibility. But there is a board that's required by law to have. So they had a meeting this week about that. Now on the 28th, we're going to have a workshop item. I'm putting it on there. I'd like Bell County to be a no-kill shelter. And there is no certificate or anything like that, no designation for a no-kill shelter. The only thing that I'm aware of, the metrics that people use for a no-kill shelter, is that you have 90% live placement rate. So 90%, there are going to be times that a dog, a pet, an animal is dangerous or is, sick beyond help. And in those instances, euthanasia will be appropriate. But so the goal is 90% for a no-kill shelter, and that's what I want to strive for in Bell County. So yeah, on the 28th, that'll be a agenda item that people will come talk, hear, discuss, and advocate for stuff from the Commissioner's Court. But in today's paper, Sunday's paper, we have a, remember I was gone, and they had a budget workshop on Monday. This Monday, I was actually coming back on Monday, and I missed the meeting. I wasn't there, but I watched it on video, and Commissioner Woodson said some pretty what is the word? I'm trying to use an appropriate word so I don't have to bleep myself out later. But it was some pretty bold comments, interpretations of from him on the JP courts in Precinct 4. So I want to play. It happened during a budget meeting where Justice of the Peace Coleman was asking for another clerk to help him out perform his duties. So I want to play that in its entirety, and then I'll have my comments at the end of that. So listen to this. There is no Commissioners Court meeting on Monday. We postponed it to the 28th, the following Monday, which happens to be my birthday as well. Anyways, let's listen to this video from the workshop, and then you can form your own opinion, and I'll give you some more of the background information on that.
Coach,
Afternoon, everyone.
how are you doing today?
Everything's all right. Busy.
You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
So this is my second chance because I had come in here previously and had got a full-time temporary employee with the understanding, at least from what was said in Commissioner's Court or possibly workshop, and then went into agenda, is that yes, this the full-time spot will be handled in budget. So I went into that thinking, okay, we're gonna, this is a full-time deal, signed on for October. I did have somebody in mind that I wanted for that temporary position. That didn't work out. And so it came to a point where basically for, at that time, maybe 8 weeks, 9 weeks, it's difficult to hire somebody, or it's not beneficial to hire somebody just for that amount of time. Can't even really answer the phones. There's nothing really for them to be able to do in the office. There's a significant amount of training that has to take place before this person becomes an asset for the office. And so I haven't hired anybody. So I still have that, whatever that 9 weeks or 10 weeks, whatever that.
When did we agree to do that? Remember?
Last month.
Yeah, in the last month, maybe like the 28th or something like that. I don't remember the exact date.
It was 6 weeks ago, maybe. Yeah, maybe 6 weeks ago. Because I remember the 8 weeks is when I started thinking, whoa, this may be
July,
work out.
August, September. So you're going to have the person for 3 months.
Yeah, well, somebody's on FMLA.
Somebody, right. So one person's on FMLA. Whether they come back or not, I don't know. Whether or not they're coming back or not. But regardless of that, it doesn't matter. I mean, this is still something with the numbers that my court has. April spoke to that at workshop about that. She spoke with it at a meeting. Also, Jim Nichols and David Balcom are here regarding to kind of explain the workload of my office in comparison to some of the offices, some of the other courts.
So right now you have how many? 3?
4.
You have 4. Okay. One's out. So you have
3.
So you have 3. And we're going to hire a temporary so you have that 4th. And it was your understanding if the 4th come back, you keep that 5th for the next budget cycle. Right. And that's the way you request it in your budget.
Right.
Okay.
But then and when the budget came out, that was not there.
Great.
So here I am saying, this is much needed. People that have been in my office, being April and Mr. Balcom, Mr. Balcom quite a bit, has seen what staff basically just phones that are ringing that we can't answer because everybody else is on the phone, or people in line waiting to speak with clerks. and that's, great, we're busy, but nothing gets done. We're not doing our civil processing. We're not getting things scheduled like we're supposed to be doing. We need, I've got to have some more help. I need more hands at that office. And really, one more is a Band-Aid. It's really two more, but I just.
When's your fourth person scheduled to come back? There is no schedule?
6 weeks? For September 1st?
6 more weeks, yeah. The other thing I want to add is just speaking with his employees, and not to cut you off, Judge, but just speaking with the employees in his office, without going into great detail, because of what the employees showed me, a lot of it is driven from stress as to why they look at other positions, why they're looking to leave, why they're looking for leave, things like that, because of the workload of the office. And these are people that have been there for a while. He's got one that returned. I think that she's really kind of probably the only one I haven't talked to lately that has been stress related as to why they're begging for more help.
Well, I've told you every year, I'm not sitting in that seat. And so if you're saying you need another person, you need another person. I don't question that. I will not question that at all. It's just, then we've also discussed, once we get the revenues in and what we have to spend, we have to prioritize down and go from there. So we're probably talking about, what, 50, 60 all in?
Benefits. 57,503.
Yeah.
How much?
57,503.
Almost 60.
But then
That's with benefits.
also in comparison, he has 4 people in his office, 3 deputy clerks and 1 assistant to the judge. Whereas comparison on, I'm not going to even compare it to the 2 in Temple because they have even less, but compared to the 2 in Helene, they have 4 in 1. So the workload based on what I saw in the numbers, and it's just complete glance. Some of the numbers that do run through his office are very comparable to what's running in Coleman.
Again, I don't question the numbers because they all take different times, and I can't answer that. I don't need to answer because I'm not sitting in that seat. Again, it's just, where would we find we'd have to find the $60,000.
Well, and also just real quick, I do want Mr. Balcom will let you know that he handles all the criminal side of all the courts of Bell County, and he will tell you that. Well, I'll let him tell you, but he does about 40 or 50% of his docket comes out of my court. That's for all 6 JPs.
Why is that? Why do they go to your court? Because they can go to any court they want.
Pretty much.
And you have, in your precinct, you have about 20,000 people that live there. So why do half of the cases?
Yes, but the people that come through there is a lot more than 20,000.
No, I understand.
Okay.
But they go through Belton, they go through Temple.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're on the same I-35 corridor, I get it.
Sure.
But again, why do they come to your court? You gonna answer that? Come on, you gonna answer that? You're asking me.
We treat it's efficient. The court is efficient. It is treated with respect. Law enforcement treated with respect in the court. Mr. Buckham, anything else you want to add why law enforcement would come to Precinct 2? Sure. Come on.
Gentlemen, my name's David Balcom. I don't think I've mentioned Mr. Rose.
Yes, sir.
But I'm in my 5th decade of practicing law. It is an honor and a privilege to serve in this gentleman's court, just like it is an honor and privilege to serve in the other courts, but they are different. When I started out, it was explained to me that I would be doing 2 days in each judge's court. That's sort of the way we started. But it quickly became apparent to me that I'm doing 4 and 5 days a month, sun up to sundown sometimes, in this gentleman's court. That's not the only day that I'm there, because I'm constantly stopping by to handle this, that, and the other. In other courts, I'm averaging a half day twice a month. Another court, I'm averaging a half day once a month. Other courts in Temple, I'm there 2 days a month. Nobody has the volume. Nobody pushes the volume that we do in 2-1. It got so bad last week when we only had 2 people there that I was answering phones. That's how stressful.
Not very well, but.
Do you want my help?
I do, I'm sorry. Better than me, but.
I have a quick lesson, but it gets so bad, it gets so stressful. We have so many people coming in. They're treated well. Everybody that I see, unless they clearly are looking for a fight, gets treated with empathy and respect. And I try to be as restorative with them as I can be, given my role in the criminal justice system. I walk out, I get cards from defendants saying, thank you for how you treated me. That's how we do it. That's how I do it in every court. And that does not exclude Judge Coleman's court. We have a lovely court there. I love going there. I love the people there. They are stressed out though. And they are handling more than any other court with less people there. And that's the problem. That's the real problem. And they're trying to do a fantastic job of it too. That takes extra effort. And I am here to support Judge Coleman in asking this court for another staff member there because it is desperately needed. Mental health, as April told you, is an issue with these ladies. I've seen the judge go above and beyond to try to do everything he can to make that not an issue. But at the end of the day, when you've got lines 4 or 5 people deep at each station, when the phones are ringing off the hook, I have been in cultures. I've served for years and years as the chief legal officer for banks, manufacturers. I've been department head for a criminal justice in a university. I've been on boards. I have looked at culture and I've looked at staffing. And my wife is an HR person. April and I have discussed that for all of our marriage. We talk about culture and staffing at the house, and I see a great need in this court for another person. Is that what you're looking for?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And it happens to be the truth, right?
Yeah, it is. It is the truth.
Thank you very much for your time.
Well, I don't disagree with any of that. What our job is to do up here is make sure that we put, to the commissioner's point, is make sure that we are efficient and effective with the services that we provide. And my concern with the JPs overall, not with yours necessarily, but overall, is that we're not as efficient as we could be. And so if I've got 50% of the cases happening in your precinct, when you have, 5% of the population, that tells me that other courts, maybe not all of them, but some of them aren't handling their fair share. And those can be filed anywhere you want to file them in the county. Belton and Temple are not far apart. Belton and Slater are not far apart on the out there at quarter. Know for a fact we got a lot of folks from Coleman coming to your court, and that's a pretty good drive from Coleman to go to your court. They're going out of their way to go to your court. So when I look at that, and I'm looking at your numbers, and your numbers, while your numbers are solid and higher than some of the other courts along I-35, they're certainly not compatible with numbers in Precinct 4, but they're different types of cases. You're doing criminal cases, take more time, more trouble than doing evictions one after the other all day long. And I understand that too. But what I would be looking at more, rather than adding more people, is maybe shuffling some people around. And so I'm not certain that if we're going to load up in one court or the other, that we don't need to pull some personnel, or at least the spots from some of those other places, and add to your court. Not necessarily just add another body or 2 or maybe 3 in your court when I got 5 over in another court or 3 over another court, not doing as many as those 4, 5, or 6 in your court. And so when I was going through this last time, when I went through all the OCA numbers, I wasn't going through based on how many judges we had. I was going through based on how many clerks we had for those. And by clerk number, you have one of the highest case per clerk numbers in the county, even though you have 20,000 people in your precinct, which is, again, I keep saying that because That just doesn't seem right. But I understand, and the reason I wanted you to answer that question, and thank you, Mr. Balcom, for answering that question. I know the reason. I'm not asking a question I don't know the answer to there. I want people publicly to understand, and I know you don't want to get into any risks with any of the JPs anywhere. You got to work together, and I get that. But I want people to understand publicly the volumes that we're doing because their own police departments don't want to go to their own JP courts. And I will say that here and again and again and again until we get something worked out in the JP in Precinct 4. And it's not necessarily both of them. But bottom line is we have got to, this JP problem that we've got is a big problem. I mean, magistration, we're going to spend a ton more money on that. You know, we're probably going to have to do something with the inquest at some point in time because that's about to fall over too. And we've got all these criminal cases coming to Little Salado, Texas. You know, for what? Because somebody else won't talk to a police officer. That's not my fight.
And I will tell you,
I want to make sure everybody understands this, and we're talking about this because I think you're right. I think you need personnel, but I'm not willing to continue to write checks because some other JPs don't do their job. That's what I have a problem with because that's every taxpayer in the county, and I will say that loudly. Some JPs don't do their job in Bell County, Texas.
Commissioner,
I don't know how to fix that
okay,
other than move some clerks somewhere.
Commissioner, any time that Bell County, whether it be any one of these commissioners and judge has needed something at my level,
oh yeah, you take care of it.
I'm the first and last phone call. Yeah. And Judge Wilkie.
Well, Wilkie too.
Okay, and Judge Wilkie. Okay, we have stepped up to the peril of my staff.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know.
Okay, for the last 8 weeks, 8 weeks. Okay, and what I've done and what he has done over there, and it has put more stress on my staff. So then, in that midst of time, when you sit there and then, you know, and I'm thinking I'm getting another clerk, and then I get budget coming in, and you know, no, we're not doing another clerk. I mean, it's devastating. Okay, we are looking forward to that relief that we have. It's not going to be easy. This is not like snap your fingers, it's fixed. It's going to take several months, if not a year, to train somebody to make them an asset, you know, that they're productive. A little production here at a time. But that education level at the justice level is much different and much greater than at the county court law or district level. They are specialized, whether it be civil or whether it be criminal in what they do. This is everything. As Henry Garcia would say, the whole banana.
Yeah. So I say all that to say, would you be willing to take another clerk from another office?
That is your call. That is not my call, Commissioner.
You're not making the call.
The position.
I'm both. I'm saying if I put a call out to clerks in other areas,
I have to interview somebody.
Absolutely.
Somebody that works.
Absolutely.
That person has to match and mesh with my staff.
Absolutely.
Okay, and when we interview people, that is very important. And just you deciding who that person is not going to work.
Now, I'm not moving the person. I'm saying if I were to put a call out and say, hey, we need somebody over here. The position is open. Would you, if you would like to apply. Now, if you don't get any applications, we'll fix it another way. But if you get 3 applications, you interview and you like one, and you hire them, they're already trained up and they're going and they're ready to go.
I can tell you this.
Would you hire one?
I will
from another office.
Okay, that's a good question.
If they're
in the political, creating a political issue with another judge, possibly if I take one of their clerks because I open it up.
Yeah.
No,
I'm willing to do it, or you is what I'm asking.
Right. So I will tell you this: I don't have anybody in mind for this new position. There's and so I would open it up, and if people wanted to apply from a different court, I would look at their application. Okay, I would give it full consideration. Because anything other than that, I'm putting myself in a corner.
No, I understand.
Okay.
And I appreciate that.
Okay.
But the reason I say that is because I also don't want to go to another JP and say, hey, 5 of y'all work here now, one of you's getting fired. We're taking the position away. And I don't want to cost a good employee their job if they could just move over to another court. If they want to, and you want them to, I would like to make that available. I can't. No. I'm moving positions is all I'm saying. But tell people in these other courts that you can apply for this open position, and if you get hired, you get hired. But if you don't get hired, this position, one of these positions is going to go away, and then that judge in that area has to figure out which one's got to go.
So you advocating taking a position from
Absolutely.
another JP and
Absolutely.
moving it? Which one? Which court?
from Johnson's Court.
Is he precinct, what place?
That'd be the high priority anyway.
Place one.
Yeah,
Place
place one.
one?
Now,
Is that place?
I do not want it to get out that I came to this court trying to steal one of Judge Johnson's clerks.
You very clear asking for a position.
Whoever's in here, and whoever's watching, this is not my idea. That is not what I'm advocating at all.
What I'm saying though is I had KPD telling me they don't take cases to Johnson's Court because of various reasons, and they go to your court instead. So if you're going to be taking those cases, I think some of his personnel, at least one.
But Judge Johnson has, he has magistrated, and I will tell you,
I know.
his weekends, there haven't been any issues since January.
I agree.
I mean, he's done his job and he's done it well.
Talking about criminal cases from KPD. You probably don't know this off the top of your head, but you might. How many cases do you get from KPD?
There's different kinds of cases. I do search warrants. I do arrest warrants. I have done most of the citations at a clean are handled in the city unless it happens outside the city. And then yes, I do them as well. It's got to be egregious. But yes, I've done that.
You say that 50% of your work comes from precinct 4 instead of precinct 2?
No. Mm-mm. I would not say that. I would say 50%. Well, I don't have that number, but I would say maybe 50%, but maybe not quite. The 50% handle is outside my precinct as far as the criminal side. I don't know.
It's non-salated,
Non-salated, right. Maybe.
I would say 40 to 50.
Yeah, so it happens.
So you're doubling your work on criminal cases in precinct 2.
Ish.
I bet if you did the math, it's maybe higher than 50. And I'm only saying that because 20,000 people live in all of your precincts versus 400,000 people in Bell County.
Right.
Just by the sheer numbers of you having that much volume in your cases, and I happen to know a little bit about Salado, pretty sure there's not a large criminal element in Salado.
Right. I do a lot of CV, a lot of commercial vehicle stuff with DPS.
And
it doesn't matter if it's Expo Center or where it is, they send it to me. And I think a lot of that is the efficiency that we handle this in, and then also some education that I've had regarding CVs and with the federal laws regarding that. And they're appreciative of that I'm up to speed on that end of it. So
Absolutely.
we're a lot of overweights in commercial vehicle stuff come to my court. So and to be quite honest, we have folks from Williamson or from Travis County, Williamson County, and McLennan County. Those CV troopers come in, and work 10 or 12 at a time, and do this, and we may get loaded with 80 to 100 citations a day on that easily. So it's just like, here's what it is. We're going to take care of it.
Okay.
So.
Good enough.
If I could say one more thing about the CV issue. There is a lot of education that goes on before we can handle that kind of a ticket. It's a very different ticket to handle. The fines, the penalties are very different. And many times they're represented by attorneys. And I don't want this to get out, but it's so much easier to handle a case without an attorney. It doubles or triples the time when counsel gets involved. And when we have these kinds of cases, when an attorney is representing somebody, and I'll give you an example that happened just this morning. I had to take a baby attorney by the hand and show her what commercial vehicle law was, what anti-masking is, what the exceptions are. That's not just time in my office, that's time for his court. And I have to do all of that because we have a reputation, the judge has a reputation of handling these things pretty efficiently and pretty fairly.
Yep, sure. Okay.
Again, I'd be okay with how we come up with the dollars. I'm okay with an extra position.
Okay.
And I don't know that the three of us could determine that today anyway. Quite frankly, it's going to be something that we discuss in the budget and how we.
But
we're going to balance.
But we'll get it done one way or the other. I've got a head nod, and we're going to get it done one way or the other.
We're going to cut something we have to cut something, right?
You have to come up with money somewhere.
Somewhere.
We're balanced.
For balance.
That's right.
We're balanced, so, and we're gonna be balanced. We're not gonna go unbalanced, obviously. So.
I mean-
we'll have to-
Or we can tell everybody that Judge Coleman needs us to raise the tax rate. Either way you want to go, Judge, it's up to you.
I'm in such desperate need of a clerk, I'm willing to take the hit.
There are pockets, I mean, we've got some things we could go against, obviously.
1 million to 1 cent.
I understand.
We keep it, but I'm not saying absolutely have to be balanced.
Right, understand.
Well, we got other decisions
But
to make
this
too.
isn't the first time that y'all talked about looking at other JP's work.
I know.
Adjustments.
I know. I'm just trying to get traction there is all I'm doing. You got a JP that doesn't work on Friday and does weddings all day long in our offices and doesn't see court on Friday. That's 20%. That's 1 of 5 clerks. You don't need any more.
I have had to, let me let you know this, just to, I don't want to knock my shoulder out of socket, pat myself on the back too hard, but I will tell you, we used to have court Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays, kind of give us, Mondays I used to come to the commissioners meeting, we used to do that. And Fridays was your day to kind of catch up on everything. We now have court. I mean, I had to change things around this afternoon to be here. We have court Monday through Friday now. We are, every single day of the week, we are having some sort of court, what that is. And then when I had to do the magistration, it was so much work, not only on the front end of, and when I told everybody, I said, hey, this is what I'm doing, is that we had to move all my 9 o'clocks, 10 o'clocks, we had to move everything back. And that just threw everything in a little frenzy, for a while as well. It's not easy just because I say I want to do something. There's a whole lot of things that happen behind that. So
I do remember every JP requested another head, did they not?
no, they didn't in precinct 4.
Almost.
Precinct 4 did not request anybody
So then.
because they were here.
But the numbers, I'm looking at.
1, 3, and 2 did.
And I'm in alignment with Commissioner Snyder. We're here to help support whatever it is you need, as long as we can be balancing our tax dollars.
That's our
I'm
job.
also in alignment with looking at the numbers. You've got 16,000 cases so far today. And you've got right now 4,000 of them that are penal code or other state law, which they can consume some time if I understand properly, but that's the highest number in any.
Well, and I think also one of
Compared
the
to Forest, 10,000 and about 3,000.
One of the things that I hesitate in talking about, but I'm actually costing the taxpayers money. We're actually costing the taxpayers money by not having a staff member there. There are probably ballpark between 2,500 and 3,000 FTAs that have not been filed, a figure to appears that have not been filed in my court. We just don't have time. If you knock it, say average of, it's up to $500, but say average $200 to $300 is what we charge on those. Think about those receivables that should be coming into my court that I just don't have time to do. They get pushed back. We're not there. And it'll be, we'll still try to get them done, but
So if you're able to get those done with this extra head, you're basically paying for the salary.
far more.
Look and see what stays at the county versus what goes to.
Right, that's true, but it's still monies that come in. That's it, 100%.
For those Precinct 4, place 1 has 10,700 cases that they've processed to date or that are on the docket, and they have about 1,300 penal or state.
Yeah. Most of those are foreclosures. Yeah, not foreclosures, evictions, thank you.
Okay, one more thing?
One thing about the FTAs, when a defendant doesn't show up, in the past, we haven't been documenting it very well. That started to change about 1.5 to 2 years ago. When I started submitting an FTA form after every defendant didn't show up. So we now have documentation in our files. It's just a matter of the time to get back in there and go after those folks and make that charge and bring them back into court and get them paid. So the documentation's in the files. We're ready to go. We just don't have the resources to do that in Judge Coleman's court.
Are those documented enough to a point where they will show that they've not been resolved so that when they go to do their vehicle registration, they'll have to come
On
home?
scofflaw and driver and Omni.
And on, so for the driver's license too.
Right,
And line partner.
right,
Separate.
It will-
from Scott.
right, separately from that.
It'll be,
Separately from Omni, separately from, right. We go, they have those little 3 avenues that I know.
so even if you don't go after those people, so to speak, if they go to register the vehicle, they're gonna have to come to you to get it resolved. Or come to some JP get a result.
Yes, if it's put in Omni or scofflaw, right.
That's
If it's
what
put
I'm
in.
asking. Is it put into those at least?
Once we file it, yes. Once it's filed and they're given that, they're sent that documentation, 30 days, I think, is that what it is? I think it's 30 days. And if we haven't received a response, then it goes to Linebarger. Once Linebarger puts it into scofflaw, we send it into Omni.
But that filing is what you're saying you don't.
Correct. Right. That's correct.
But the filing is what you say you don't have time to do.
That's correct.
Okay. So they're not going to get hit at Scott.
Right now. I said, I mean, it's 20, I think it's 2,500 to 3,000. I think that's the number. It may be higher, maybe a little bit lower, but I'm pretty sure it's at least 2,500. It was at 2,000 in February or March. They told me, I looked at the number. So I'm figuring it's that much now because we haven't done it yet. So we have made some changes. We don't answer the phones now till 9. We open the doors at 8 to kind of give us a chance to get civil, get our things in order each morning. It's just once 9 o'clock hits, it's.
So one of the reasons JP precincts are the way they are is for convenience.
Mm-hmm.
Well, obviously it's not inconvenient for people to come to you. So if we were to change those meets and bounds on your precinct, to pick up more of the west side or central side of the county, would that be reasonable?
I'm interested. I'm happy to look at any lines that are redrawn, but anything that would do would just increase the workload for the precinct.
I know, but it would decrease the workload for other precincts. Hypothetically, it won't, but hypothetically, we could decrease the number of clerks they need if we line those up. And you have a larger area too, and bring clerks to your office. But the problem is, if 10 years from now you have different sub-JPs, you'll have
It's
different.
not about size, it's about number of clerks and where they're going. Where's the workload?
So it's all going there. So
Right, I'm saying, so you can go cut it every how you want to cut it, and they continue to go there. It's not going to make any difference. And you can say, well, I'm this big, so I need 5 clerks. I'm this big, so I need 3. That's not how it's based on workload.
no, I understand.
Every time you try to put me in a corner. Every time, Bobby. Trying to get me to say something.
I just need I need the county to understand
You said
what's
it.
going on.
I don't have to. You said it.
But I don't know what I'm talking about. You're the JP. Just like you said.
Any questions, Commissioner?
The other person not.
Man, to his point, he's been in a position where I've had to make decisions for people that I didn't know what they did and that kind of thing, and that it's a pretty uncomfortable position to be in. But the numbers don't dispute. I mean, I would think that your biggest time consumers would be criminal. Is that fair?
Yes, just because it's your number. Yes.
Okay, so there's not, so I'm just saying the evidence to me is there's no question you got to have another head. I'm with Russell. I don't challenge that. And I just know that we've got to figure out how we're going to pay for it.
Okay. That's why y'all get the big bucks. Anything else? All right. Thank you, April. Tina, thank y'all so much. Commissioners, County Clerk's Office, County Attorney's Office, IT. Are y'all done with that? Or is there people after me?
You have other items to
No,
discuss.
get out of there.
Yes, that's funny.
So there you heard Commissioner Woodson just blasting Precinct 4 JPs, not working, not doing their job, not hearing cases, not being useful, helpful with local PD. Now, all JPs do weddings. All of them. They all do weddings and are in the county buildings, and then they do weddings outside of that. They manage their own time for that. What he didn't say are some of the other judges, some of the other JPs around the county, they work for other cities as well and hold court as well. Now, I doubt that they're doing it in the evenings, and I doubt they're doing it on the weekends. So they're doing it during, you would assume, should be times that they are should be doing county business, but they're not. And specifically, I think what Commissioner Woodson is referencing, and maybe, I think you even heard Judge Coleman mentioning it. He mentioned arrest warrants and search warrants. So and like I said, I used to be a deputy constable a long time ago. And I would be sitting in the JP's office, Judge Ivy, many times, and a detective or a police officer would come by, pop in, just show up unannounced with a warrant for the JP to sign. They just look over the documentation, make sure it's correct, make sure that, probable cause exists, and then they sign it and officer goes execute it. It's really, really quick. It's not like it's taking up a lot of time. Now, I think clerks have to, do that paperwork, but that's, they're choosing to go over there to Precinct 2. He mentioned redrawing the lines. I've talked about that in a previous show, redrawing the lines, based off of the census, Precinct 4 JP, which is different from Precinct 4 County Commissioner. Precinct 4 JP and Constable takes up all Western Bell County. And it's like 217,000 constituents. So more than half the county that they're representing, 2 JPs versus 4 JPs for the rest of the population. So, I mean, there are disparities in the workload. There are disparities. I'm not saying that Judge Coleman doesn't need help. That's something that we'll talk about. It did sound like he has a lot of issues, a lot of workload from DPS. And I think there's ways to address that workload from DPS versus signing a warrant from KPD. KPD can go to their municipal court judge, but they're choosing to go all the way to Salado. I don't know. I'm going to have to call the chief on that and get an answer on that. Who's signing their search warrants and arrest warrants, and where are they going to get those signed? Is KPD going all the way to Salado to get that signed? Or is JP Precinct 2 driving to Coleman and signing them? But yeah, no, there's a lot of misinformation. I don't think Commissioner Woodson has all the facts. And, JP4 is the busiest JP precinct in the county. They hear the most cases, they get the most cases, and they dispose of the most cases. So we need to continue to support JP Precinct 4, and that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm committed to do, is take care of my constituents, our constituents. So anyways, hope you enjoyed the show. Like I said, I'm going to be going to Naleo tomorrow. Tomorrow is also the first day of the special session where they're going to talk about flood mitigation and funding that. They're going to talk about THC, and they're also going to talk about redistricting. So that's something that we'll go over next week's show, because they did have a tentative map that came out for the congressional districts. And I think for the first time that I can remember, and over, since 2013 of me being involved in politics, that Bell County congressional district covers the entire county. Coleman has always been gerrymandered. But at least in this tentative map that I've seen, the entire Bell County is one congressional district. And then they split up Williamson County. So more to come on that. There's going to be a lot of information. They're going to be I'm going to be down in Austin advocating for us. They're also going to look at property taxes and ways to limit government local governments from increasing property taxes. So it's only 30 days. Special session is only 30 days. So let's hope they cannot do too much damage in those 30 days. Help the flood victims that need to be helped. Let's see what is going to shake out of this legislative tree. So we will talk to you next week.